Hi, everybody. So we're going to quickly summarize the differences between mitosis and meiosis today and kind of take stock of everything that we've learned so far. So let's start with, we have mitosis over here and meiosis over here. Very quickly, almost all the time, you can tell the difference by the number of cells produced. If you start with one cell and you end up with two cells, you're probably looking at mitosis. And if you start with one cell and you end with four, you probably are looking at meiosis. This isn't 100% though, because it is possible to imagine one cell dividing into two by mitosis, and then those daughter cells going on to each divide. In fact, that's how you would grow or repair tissue. It's not just making two cells, those two cells then go on to make four cells. So while the overall outline is helpful for figuring out the difference between mitosis and meiosis, it isn't conclusive. It's not enough by itself to determine. So we have some other things we need to look at to see if it's mitosis or meiosis. Let's start with the number of chromosomes. If you take a look here, we're starting with 4. That means this organism has a diploid number of 4. Right? We've got 4 chromosomes in both cases in the parent cell. This is a pair, and that's a pair. We have 2 pairs or 4 chromosomes. So this is like the fruit fly, right? Not the human. If we were looking at a human, there'd be 46 in there. But for the fruit fly, there'd be 4. And when mitosis happens, when the fly is growing, say, it's going to copy all of those. Now they're in X's, right? Because they've been copied. And then they're going to divvy up the 2 copies during IPMAT, right, to the 2 cells. Mitosis, just plain old regular mitosis. The daughter cells are identical to the parent cell. They're diploid. If we look over here, we've got a diploid cell, right? Just like the other one. And it copies just like the other one. But this step is different. If we look at what's been cut in half or what's been divided, it isn't the little X's being taken apart like over here. The sister chromatids, the identical copies, have not been separated. What's been separated is this large one from that large one, a homologous pair. This little one from that little one, another homologous pair. We have gone to monoploid. And then we just simply separate the sister chromatids, the identical copies. So in mitosis, we are starting diploid, ending diploid. In meiosis, we're starting diploid and ending monoploid. So that's the most critical difference between the two. A couple of other things we can look at. So we'll put it in table form. The purposes of mitosis. Remember that this is asexual. It is for growing. It is for repairing tissue, right? If you get a cut or if an earthworm loses its back half, right, it's going to make new cells, body cells that have to be identical to the original and therefore diploid. So growth and repair and asexual reproduction. And when we talk about growth, we even mean when a zygote, remember the sperm and the egg come together and make a zygote, and that's the first moment the baby exists. That's like when the baby is one cell big, the first body cell is diploid, that's a zygote. When that baby grows into a full baby, it's going to do mitosis, right? Because that's growing. So we now have a diploid cell that's going to grow into 2 diploid cells and 4 diploid cells. So it's for growth, even right from the moment that the zygote's created. Meiosis made the egg and sperm to begin with, right? So meiosis made the egg and sperm, cut the chromosome number in half. They fuse by fertilization, and then the zygote is diploid and grows by mitosis. Okay, so mitosis, asexual reproduction, growth and repair. Meiosis, making gametes for sexual reproduction. The chromosome number of the daughter cells, we just went over this, right? The daughter cells made by mitosis are diploid. They start diploid, they end diploid, everything that's copied gets divvied up to the 2 cells. Meiosis makes monoploid cells. That is, we cut the homologous pairs in half so that each daughter cell has only one half of each pair so that it can create new pairs with the other gamete. When the egg and the sperm fuse, they create new diploid pairs. So meiosis has to make a cell that has only one half of each pair is monoploid. As we looked at, mitosis makes 2 cells, while meiosis makes 4 cells. You have to be very careful though, because sometimes the regions will show you mitosis happening in 2 generations. So you do have to look at the numbers of chromosomes. Mitosis is simply one cell division. You have one cell dividing into two. Done. Meiosis has meiosis 1 and then meiosis 2. So there's two cell divisions in meiosis. And of course, mitosis is about asexual reproduction. So along with growth and repair, it's things like budding in the hydra and binary fission in the amoeba, right? Vegetative propagation, all that asexual reproduction is mitosis, while meiosis is one half of sexual reproduction. There's meiosis and then there's fertilization. And that is a quick summary of the differences between mitosis and meiosis.